It's a dangerous world, and you look around the world, and there are a ton of hotspots. This next question is politically sensitive, but you said everything was open when we started this thing. Does an event like the indictment of your predecessor carry some kind of foreign policy or national security impact? In other words, do foreign allies get rattled by it? Do adversaries get emboldened by it? Does it somehow constrain the Trump administration foreign policy?
No, I've seen no evidence of the investigation in any way impeding the important work that we're doing. So what we're endeavoring to do is to regain our strategic focus. And so what the president asked us to do in the National Security Council is devolve responsibilities and authorities and decision-making back to the departments and agencies who have to execute those policies. And we've done that. And with all that time that we've saved, mulling about tactical details, we've established a very strong foundation of strategy, clearly articulated objectives for the main national security challenges we're facing. Now, one of those challenges is Russia, and what we're endeavoring to do with Russia is three things. We need to counter Russia's destabilizing behavior that we saw really grow significantly in the last several years, right? You can go back to the denial of service attacks in Estonia in 2007, invasion of Georgia 2008, invasion of Ukraine, the intervention on the side of the Assad regime in Syria. You could just go on and on. There's a disturbing pattern. And then, of course, you have the subversion of democracies broadly in the West. Europe has suffered in particular from this. You saw Russian hands in the Catalonia independence referendum. You're starting to see Russia active in Mexico, and well in advance of the Mexican election. So what we've been focused on is the three things we have to do with Russia: counter their destabilizing behavior, including this so-called hybrid warfare or new generation warfare, where they attempt to use a sophisticated strategy of subversion, but really disinformation and propaganda to polarize communities and affect our confidence. I gave this talk about strategic confidence. It's really an element of that. Part of reclaiming our strategic confidence is having confidence in what unifies us as Americans. And so it would be great if every time we talk about what divides us, we also at least give equal time to what unites us as Americans. So we want to confront Russia's destabilizing behavior. We want to deter conflict with Russia, right? It wouldn't be in anybody's interest to have a large-scale conflict with Russia. And the third thing, though, we need to do is try to find areas of cooperation with Russia. So our Russia policy is very practically focused now and forward-looking to do those three things.
So you don't think your counterparts around the world were rattled by yesterday?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we're in very close contact. There's sort of a national security advisors support group, that we have. We get together periodically at conferences, and we're always on the phone with each other. And there's tremendous confidence. I think there's more confidence in the United States, frankly. I think there's a sense that we are re-engaging in areas where we had largely disengaged. I mean, you might remember a Foreign Affairs article maybe 3 years ago or so. It sort of celebrated the post-American Middle East as if this was a triumph. Well, how's that working out, right? What we've endeavored to do is to engage in a meaningful way with allies and partners to break this horrible cycle of sectarian violence, to have the enduring defeat of ISIS. We have now, with our allies and partners, defeated ISIS in 95% of the so-called caliphate in Syria and Iraq. There's a lot to celebrate in what's going on. I mean, the situation is in the Middle East right now. It's very tenuous. Yemen, horrible humanitarian crisis there. We're working very hard to address that, to convince others that they have to address that as a matter of urgency. But in general, U.S. re-engagement in that region and in other areas has been welcomed and I think has been encouraging